In the land of Ngoma, where the rivers sang and the mountains stood like ancient guardians, there was a warrior named Tamba. He was the strongest of his people, the fastest runner, and the bravest in battle, or so everyone believed. His name was spoken with admiration, and his presence alone was enough to inspire confidence in his fellow warriors. But Tamba had a secret, one he had never confessed to anyone. Though he trained harder than anyone, carried the longest spear, and wore the heaviest armor, he feared death more than anything. The mere thought of falling in battle, of closing his eyes and never opening them again, sent a chill through his bones. Because of this fear, he always stood at the back during battles. He commanded his men with a strong voice, but he never took the first strike. He let others charge forward while he gave orders, ensuring that his position remained safe. His people did not question him, for they believed he was simply a wise leader who guided them from behind. One fateful morning, as the sun cast long shadows over Ngoma, a war horn echoed through the valley. Scouts came rushing into the village, their faces pale with terror. "The warriors of Kundu approach," they cried. "They come with fire and steel, and they outnumber us 2-1. The villagers trembled. The warriors of Kundu were known for their ruthlessness, their thirst for conquest. If Ngoma fell, its people would be slaughtered or enslaved. The warriors of Ngoma gathered in the great circle, their weapons glinting in the sunlight. They turned to Tamba, their greatest warrior, their leader in all things. "Tamba, you must lead us," said one of the elders. "If we do not charge, we will all die." Tamba's heart pounded. His hands, strong from years of training, trembled slightly. He wanted to lead them. He wanted to be the hero they believed him to be. But deep inside, the old fear clawed at him. He hesitated. For the first time, his warriors saw it. Doubt. Murmurs spread among them like fire in dry grass. Some exchanged uneasy glances. Others clenched their weapons tighter, sensing that their leader, whom they had always trusted, was not as fearless as they had believed. Just then, through the gathered crowd, an old woman stepped forward. She was frail, her back bent with age, her hands shaking as she leaned on a wooden staff. But her eyes burned with the fire of wisdom. "Tamba," she called, her voice clear despite her years. "You wear the biggest armor. You carry the longest spear. But none of that will matter if you do not fight today." Tamba swallowed. I do not wish to die." The old woman nodded. "No man does. But tell me, great warrior, what is worse? To die fighting for your people, or to live knowing you let them perish?" Tamba lowered his gaze. The murmurs around him grew louder. The people of Ngoma were watching, waiting. "If you do not fight today," the old woman continued, "you will never be remembered." Tamba's breath caught in his throat. He had trained all his life to be great, to be a warrior whose name would live on in songs and stories. But if he let fear rule him now, he would be remembered only as a coward. A new fire sparked within him. He took a deep breath, straightened his shoulders, and with a sudden, determined movement, he cast off his heavy armor. It crashed to the ground with a dull thud. His warriors gasped. Then, gripping his spear tightly, Tamba turned to his people. "We fight," he roared. A mighty cheer erupted. With Tamba leading the charge, the warriors of Ngoma surged forward like a storm. The Kundu warriors, expecting a weak and hesitant enemy, were caught off guard. The sudden fury of Ngoma's fighters overwhelmed them. Tamba fought like never before. His fear still lingered, whispering in the back of his mind, but he did not let it stop him. He moved swiftly, his spear striking true. For the first time, he understood what it truly meant to be brave, not the absence of fear, but the decision to act despite it. By the time the sun dipped below the horizon, the battle was over. The warriors of Kundu had been driven back, their attack crushed. Ngoma was saved. When Tamba returned, he expected cheers and praise. He had led his people to victory. He had overcome his fear. Surely, he had proven himself. But as the elders gathered around him, their expressions were not of celebration, but of quiet wisdom. "You fought bravely today, Tamba," one elder said. "But bravery is not the same as leadership." Tamba frowned. "Did I not lead my warriors into battle?" "You did," another elder agreed. But leadership is not only about fighting when the battle is upon you. A leader does not hide his fear, nor does he act only when shamed. A true leader is honest, even about his weaknesses, and he finds strength not just in himself, but in his people. Tamba bowed his head. He understood now. His fear had made him selfish, had kept him from being the leader Ngoma needed, until it was almost too late. And so, the elders made a decision. They made him chief. Not because he was fearless. Not because he was the strongest. But because he had learned the most important lesson. Fear should never stop a man from doing what is right. And from that day on, the people of Ngoma had a leader who not only commanded with strength, but with wisdom and heart.